Although it is one of Spain's most lively and dynamic cities, Barcelona is not really Spanish at all. As the cultural epicenter and capital of the region of Catalonia, it has a history and identity all of its own. Visit the 1,000-year-old monastery at Montserrat, the region's spiritual centre. Discover the La Sagrada Familia, one of Antonio Gaudi's most striking and innovative buildings, still unfinished after a century. Monte Carlo is the European playground of the rich and famous. Lying at the heart of the Riviera, with its stunning scenery and charming seaside resorts, it's easy to see why.
Today is Friday, June 10th. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're arriving at Monte Carlo.
Today is Saturday, June 11th, and we are in Livorno, Italy.
Livorno is our gateway to the glorious region of Tuscany. It was in Livorno where giants such as Dante, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Galileo infused the West with a new creative spirit. The city of Florence offers wonderful treats such as the Duomo, the massive dome that graces the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. And of course, Michelangelo's David, which is on show at the Accademia. The city's artistic and cultural wealth is rivaled only by that of Rome. Pisa was once a brash commercial seafaring town, rivaling the great maritime powers of Venice and Genoa. Today, it is a quiet university town, host to Italy's most renowned icon, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Standing 180 feet tall and leaning 14 degrees from the vertical. With the impressive backdrop of an ancient city, modern-day Rome is very much abuzz with activity and spirit. Piazzas bustle with the people enjoying this magnificent city. You never know what surprises await around the next corner. The city of Rome has been the focal point for many of the world's greatest artists, architects, rulers, and philosophers. So it is in Rome that you will discover some of the world's most famous churches, monuments, and fountains. While it would take many lifetimes to truly know Rome, your day will give you a fascinating introduction to many of the city's most famous sites. Don't miss walking down the fabulous Spanish steps that lead you to the fashion high streets. Whether you decide to wander through the grand arena of the Colosseum, visit Vatican City, or simply marvel at the wealth of culture and history, you won't be disappointed.
Adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini,
qui feci celum et terra,
benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
The fountain is a huge, enormous fountain in a very small square. The tradition is that you have to throw a coin in the fountain, of course. If you throw one coin in the fountain, you will come back to Rome. I have met a lot of different tourists that they say that it's working. They have been here, they have used the coin and they are back.
One of the greatest architectural achievements of all time. Its construction was begun in 73 AD under the Emperor Vespasianus. It took 40,000 slaves to erect this giant of a building, which measures 188 meters long and 154 meters wide. Its height, 54 meters, is equivalent to a modern 16-story office block. unfortunately, only a third of the original structure survives. Century after century, the Colosseum was looked upon as an inexhaustible quarry for building materials, especially travertine, the marble most used for building in Rome. What is even more remarkable about the Colosseum is the fact that it is the first building to introduce advanced anti-seismic construction. Instead of using mortar, they applied bronze clamps to hold the enormous blocks of travertine in place. Those holes you see between the blocks were made during the Middle Ages when the clamps were removed to be converted into coins and later on into cannons.
This is how the Colosseum looked in its heyday.
Naples is Italy's third largest city. This bustling metropolis is famed for its amazing coastline, stately buildings, and for the chaos on its streets. The ancient city of Pompeii is a moment frozen in time. This famous city was buried in volcanic ash from Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. This is an area where old meets new, and art seems vibrant with life.
After about an hour of waiting for a driver, we got lost. We're now in Naples. Here we are in the square in Ravenna.
Mykonos is perhaps the most visited and wealthy of all the Greek Isles. This is easy to understand while you venture around this tiny Greek island of 6,200 people. The city capital offers many alluring streets of whitewashed walls and colorful balconies of cascading flowers. Spend the day relaxing on any of the beautiful beaches that have made Mykonos famous. Sightseers will have splendid views of the town from the 16th century windmills that sit along the coast.
Istanbul, formerly Constantinople, is a true crossroad. Split by the Straits of Bosphorus, Istanbul is the only city in the world to span two continents. This meeting place of Europe and Asia, of Christian and Muslim, is one of the great adventures a traveller ever encounters. While in Istanbul, wander the world's largest bazaar. Here you will find everything from traditional wear to fine materials. One of Istanbul's most recognizable landmarks is the Blue Mosque. Built in the 17th century, the Blue Mosque is renowned for its geodesic architecture. 6 minarets punctuate a design that includes an array of small domes, semi-domes and 216 stained glass windows. Nearby, take in the extraordinary Byzantine architecture of St. Sophia. Built by Emperor Justine, it is home to a massive marble dome and pillars brought from the ancient city of Ephesus.
Today is June 16, and that is the Black Sea ahead, and we are in Istanbul, Turkey.
This is the Blue Mosque.
Located in the region of Ionia, Kushadasi is the gateway to one of the most interesting cities in the ancient world. An interesting way to spend the day is viewing the local bazaar, one of the largest in all of Turkey. Once outside of the city, you can take a trip to Ephesus, where John the Evangelist spent his last days.
House of Virgin Mary is very famous in Turkey. It's one of the highlights around here. So you're visiting 3 highlights of Western Turkey right now. And this house is very holy for us. It's the highlight of Turkey. Many people from all over the world are going to the house, and actually Catholics are visiting this house for the pilgrimage. Because according to the belief, Virgin Mary came here with St. John from Jerusalem after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and she spent her last years in this small house.
Ephesus now, and my name is Fulya. Ephesus is really very well preserved antique city, so when you are walking in the city you can imagine for whole, ancient world, whole city. It's not just only ancient city, it's another world. Here is another world. Wars, with illness, all of them all together. 6th century AD, the city was finished. Let's say because of the biggest earthquake, end of 5th century AD.
just over there, and this library, it was built in the 1st century and was called like Celsius Library, and it was built in Turkey after the one god religions were exempted. Because higher positions, you were rich.
Welcome to a city where the ancient past sits side by side with the modern world. Athens, home to the Acropolis and National Archaeological Museum, is a required stop for travelers to the Mediterranean. Greece's capital recently hosted the Summer Olympic Games, and great lengths were taken to showcase all that makes Athens great.
On your left you can see a part of the ancient wall, because Piraeus was fortified as the town of Athens and the Acropolis was, to be protected in cases of war.
one of the most picturesque cities in the world, Venice is a sight to behold. The city is made up of 118 islands that are connected by a web of 150 canals and 400 bridges. Water taxis are the most popular way to get around. But for the romantics, the only choice is one of the famous gondolas. The heart of the city is St. Mark's Square, home to numerous cafes, shops, and the Basilica San Marco. The best way to see the city is to travel down the Grand Canal, which winds its way through all the points of interest. From the top of the Rialto Bridge to the commanding clock tower, everywhere you turn in Venice is another spectacular sight to behold.
Sogno l'orizzonte, mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra tutto il mio cuore che è acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che ho incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò sulla vita per mari che io lo so non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye.
Quando sei lontana sogno all'orizzonte e manca le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me.